Let's go.
I'll bring it to you one of these days in the version.
Okay, we can stand right here. Alright, because I ain't doing nothing. Tyrese, we back on West 165th, 68th and Broadway. So there's nothing. All we did was film around the block and around walking around the corners and filming around the corners and stuff like that. And so Lord, let's see what we're gonna do. We haven't gone down here. That's good. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, right in Washington Heights, we're gonna go down here and then we're gonna back up. So, let's see. All right, let's see what we have. So, Columbia Hospital was the rating of the hospital here. I'm gonna give you the rating of it. Columbia's Hospital came at number 2 on the list. And there's a lot of people that want to study to become a doctor. They come here to take classes and take the exam to get on the bar exam for them to go become doctors. One of the things about being a doctor is very hard because you learn about the culture of doctoring. You learn about the different types of medicine that people have to take and everything. I don't have doctors in my family, but I know I have a cousin, my little cousin that's want to become a pediatrician and want to help children. And as I'm filming this, Columbia University have the best doctors program and pediatrician program for people that want to become doctors, psychiatrists, neurologists, all that type of field that they want to go into in as far as doctoring and becoming all that they want to become. So I'm going to turn my camera. So this is where the people have to go into the Columbia University, and this is where the hospital is at. So in this series, when you go to Columbia University, it's based on your average have to be an A+ average in the school, and they're not gonna allow you to have a B average or a C average to become a doctor. No. You have to have an A average to become a doctor. Columbia University is it was invented in the early 1970s. 1970s was when Columbia University was invented, and the building was notified. They named Columbia after, Christopher Columbus. They named him after Christopher Columbia. So Columbia University has been a university where people come and study. And their studies are doctor, pediatrician, and also nutritionists, and also veterinarians, and what have you. In the early 1970s, in New York City was where Washington Heights was created. Washington Heights was invented in the early 1600s, and in the early 1600s, it was built by a Jewish man. And most of the areas where you go, like Harlem, was created by Peter Stuyvesant in the early 1700s. By 1875, the whole New York structure was not, buildings wasn't here. Buildings wasn't here at the time. There was no type of things that you could see. It was all, no cars wasn't here. It was more the railways was built in the middle of the road, and it was a structure where the culture was born. The culture was born back in that area, and when culture came in the 70s, they had, these cars wasn't made back then. They had old cars like the 77 Cadillac, the 77 Ford, the Chevrolets was made back in the day. Honda was created in the early 1980. Honda was created, and most of the companies that create these vehicles, that, you know, they invented those areas where those areas were created by certain different person in the world. Harlem was created by Peter Stuyvesant he founded Harlem in the early 1700s. Washington Heights was created by certain areas where you have to learn histories and roots about your area. So back down, let's go back here. I'm gonna get you, learning some history. That's what I'm here for. History.
Okay. Sophomore year.
Okay, so this is Fort Washington Drive, and right here, let's cross the street. All right, so we're actually gonna walk down here. So in film, you learn about Columbia University. We learn different type of community colleges that you could go to and get a feeling of. And here is the M4. I'm not going to go up. Yes, this is the M4. This is the bus that was passed. And this is right here. The M4 dropped you by the Fort Terrace Museum at Fort Washington Avenue. And this is where it goes. Let's continue walking. As you could tilt up here, my camera, this is Columbia University behind me, right? Columbia University was a hospital where I think a guy invented this building. I don't know the name of the guy, but when we first decided to film around here, I decided to research. I do my research before I come over here to film. So Columbia University was created by a very famous architect worker. And that architect worker was a worker that create the structure of the building and build the structure of the building. So as you can see, it's raining, drizzling down here. certain structures in the hospital building that you could see. You learn about different types of hospitals that you were born. I was born at Kings County Hospital. Some people were born at Downstate Hospital. Some people that was born up in the hospital. My cousin Julian was born at St. Vincent Hospital. I don't know about Zanaya, but St. Vincent Hospital was the second highest hospital in Manhattan that was created by one of the special architects in the world. The architect that built this hospital was an architect where you learn about structure, you learn about patterns and principles, you learn about becoming what you want to become. But in the area, this is the hospital building where when people get sick and they want to go to the hospital, this is where they go to get their health issues, right here. So so let's just cross the street. And I'm gonna end this video right here.